like to request Dr. Mukti Sadhan Basu from India regarding sharing such valuable keywords on worldwide pulses research and its value chain analysis. Please, Dr. Mukti Sadhan Basu.
Thanks to Global Forum for Sustainable Rural Development for giving me an opportunity to speak about it. And my topic, you have assigned me to talk on worldwide groundnut research and its value chain analysis. Just one quick.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Sir, please unmute, sir.
Okay, sorry.
Professor, I think you've muted yourself.
Is it okay now? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for reminding me. Myself, MS Basu, I had the opportunity to serve Indian Council of Agricultural Research for 37 years in groundnut research at National Research Center for Groundnut, followed by a couple of years in National Agricultural Innovation Project to make the technologies available in business mode as a business planning and development independent consultant. So the topic you have assigned me fits well to speak on that, and I will try to finish it in 15 minutes, just giving you some kind of background and the inherent things with the groundnut research and development. I just may take 1 minute to come to the screen, then share. How to come to the desktop. Can you help? Hello. Kanchan, can you help me in coming desktop?
Yes, Kevin sir.
Same.
Professor Jayanto sir. Hello.
Hello.
Jayanto sir, please help.
No, let him share. What is wrong?
No, I'm not able to come to desktop to pick up the file.
Sir, then you go to verbally.
Just 1 second.
Otherwise,
Seb, are you there?
yeah, I'm here.
Do you want me to help
Sorry.
you?
So should I help,
Yeah.
doctor?
Just to come to desktop to pick up my file.
But
Sir,
file will be
you are
only.
on the Zoom screen. Sir, are you on the Zoom screen?
Yeah. Laptop. I am in the laptop.
Can you find a share link at the bottom?
Yeah.
The third option.
That I have clicked.
Mute,
Then share.
mute video share.
Okay, share. But
Okay.
where is that file?
So you have
It is
clicked on
coming.
that.
It is coming.
Okay.
Sir, please first open your file and then you share your screen, please.
No, that's the reason I am not getting file to open.
Before
Okay,
going
carry
to
on.
the
You
share,
carry on verbally. And Jessica, madam, please mute yourself. Jessica, please mute yourself. All your noises are coming. Even your video also for the time being. Okay. Yeah.
Whiteboard. Okay.
Please go carry on verbally. Otherwise,
Okay.
time
Okay.
is...
No, I will take 15 minutes as you have given me. So groundnut, basically, it's an important food legume world over, whether it is Africa, Asia, and even America, where groundnut is grown. And it's also a premier oilseed crop for India. And if you take about the total production in the world, it is about 45 million. Okay. So now, can you expand it? How to go to full screen?
You can't do because you are not presenting.
Okay. So anyway, it's a world third most important vegetable protein source, groundnut, and fifth most important source of oil in the world. Now, coming to the total production in this country, it is leading producers are China, USA. Next one, it is China, India, USA, and among the African countries, it is Nigeria, Senegal, and Argentina. So there are a lot of groundnut is cultivated worldwide, and Africa and India is a major partner there. China, of course, accounted 41% of the total production, and India 14%, USA 7%, Nigeria 7%. These are the major groundnut producer, and among them, India holds the world's largest area under groundnut, around 7.5 million hectares, but second largest producer next to China. And there are huge yield gaps, particularly among the Asian countries, and that to Asia and Australia or America. It's a just, 2 ton to 5 ton. That's the level of yield difference. Now, export also, there are about 6% of the world groundnut that are traded in export business, and about $1 billion is earned out of the export of groundnut. Major country, of course, export again, India comes, they are produce much, they export much, around 29% of the world share. But here the point to be noted that Indian groundnut are mostly exported to Southeast Asian countries, around close to 76, and followed by Argentina, around 26% export. But interestingly, their entire export goes to the European countries, unlike India, where it goes to the Southeast Asian countries at much cheaper rate. And I come to that why India and Africa, there is so much of difference. And USA, the largest producer, again, one of the largest producer, their export confined to Canada, Mexico, partly to China, though China is a huge producer, but it goes to China, Vietnam, and Japan to the tune of 18% share they do have, and China very little to European Union and Japan because of the stringent export measures, and only 7% export comes from China. So there are, very different pictures in export also among the different countries. Next one. Next slide, please. Then why India and Africa is failing groundnut exports? That is interesting to look, and that gives a clue for, agribusiness development. And since it is a very important core for Africa and for, India and part of Southeast Asian countries, so we need to understand why we are failing in export, which gives a lot of money to the farmers, and at the same time, the consumer have a better produce to consume. It is mostly grown in rain-fed ecosystem, as you know, where there is no water, groundnut is grown, and that's a crop mostly with the smallholder farmers. And very strict sanitary, phytosanitary regulations are imposed by the importing country, and quarantine restrictions. That's the reason why India, Africa is not able to export their peanuts in a high premium market like Europe, America, Japan, and other places. And the biggest menace is aflatoxin contamination, a mold that produces a toxin, and that's the major bottleneck in groundnut export, peanut export from India or from Africa to the European destination. And improper harvest, post-harvest stages technology is also that is inappropriate, and processing also is not that very efficient. This is all because the whole cultivation confined to the smallholder farmers, and the traders are usually look at the market when the produce come, and they procure from the market and they process and try to send it to the export market. That's the reason nobody is paying attention in that kind of areas where a lot of technologies are available, but it is not moving. Next one. Next one, please. So what is the solution? I mean, there are two solutions. One is increasing productivity of the crop, because in Asia, in India, including India, the largest producer of groundnut, productivity is hovering around 1.5, 1.6 ton per hectare, as against 3 ton in China, or maybe 4 ton, 4.5 ton in Australia and other places. So we are far behind, and there are a lot of requirements for increasing yield, even under the water limited condition, drought situation, and with the small holdings. There are technologies which are low cost to no cost, and those technologies has to be applied at right point of time, which can stabilizing yield under fluctuating crop weather condition. And similarly, improving quality is also essential, particularly on two counts, that is oleic linoleic acid ratio. We have to improve the linoleic acid for its better storability and avoiding rapid rancidity development. And same way, it is phytopathological aspects, particularly the mycotoxin, that we need to arrest, and it should not come into the commodity, affecting its quality and producing aflatoxin, which is again carcinogenic in nature. Next one. And to increase productivity, China is using mulch technology, that is polymulch technology, in a big way, and they have really doubled the production. If it is 2 ton per hectare initially, now they are harvesting, national average is 4 ton per hectare. And the same technology we introduced in India, and we could see that our 1.5 ton average yield can jump up to 3.5 ton or 4 ton per hectare by using the polythene mulch technology in strategic areas, which cut down water requirements, and there are very many benefits out of it. Similarly, development of climate resilient varieties with the climate change. Now we do have climate resilient varieties, which will be drought tolerant, which will be tolerant to biotic and abiotic stresses, and that varieties, the seeds must be available to the farmers so that they can improve the yield. And drought mitigation technique also available, right from simple technique to dead farrow to many other mulch techniques. And promote confectionery varieties, and particularly for edible purpose when it is used, and at the same time promote high oil varieties which are used for crushing and production of oil. So there are two different way of approaches for oil and for food. Next one, please. Next one. So this is the mulch technology you can see, and then it is next one. Very uniform growth, and the crop canopy takes the ground cover, and there are new technology. You can grow garlic to get rid of the aflatoxin contamination that it is having very high prophylactic measure against the aflatoxin fungus which lives in the soil. They can control it. So we are growing groundnut even in the semi-arid tropics with little protective irrigation at the end, and it's a desert, almost Rajasthan desert, which I compare with partly of the African production system. And I had the opportunity to work in Malawi and Botswana, where that can be grown. And the best way to grow groundnut, particularly in the post-ready season after harvest of rice, because rice is grown widely in Asian countries. And after growing rice, if we can go to the post-ready season, take groundnut in the rice fallow situation, even in the residual moisture, yield is very high, close to 3 ton per hectare, because residual moisture and the fertility level in the soil, they sustain a groundnut crop of 3 ton per hectare. And that's a unique system without disease and pest. So this is another way to increase groundnut productivity by dispensing rice and including that is leguminous crop, that is groundnut in the rice system, that is rice groundnut system, which is having large area of adoption. And I mean, both India and Africa and move together in the direction where rice is there, at least with little moisture available in the soil after harvest of rice, is a crop of around 2.5 to 3 tons can be grown easily. And that can really bring a large amount of production in the country. Next one. And I mean, value chain management also I have been asked to talk. And in the value chain management, we could see that aflatoxin is the major menace. And for that, you have to have kind of management system right in the soil, right at the soil level to understand your aflatoxigenic fungi and how to get rid of that, manage that. Then at the plant level, that what kind of situation your plant should not suffer the moisture stress. And for that, you have to augment sowing, and then rotation, legume cereal system, or the vegetables also can provide some kind of moisture management approach. And then soil moisture management and conservation, and harvest at optical physiological maturity, that also helps, particularly in managing, alleviating drought situation. So instead of exposing the crop to drought. The next one, quick natural drying is very important. So these are the technology, mechanical separation of well-filled pods and remove unfilled or infected pods that will cause your aflatoxin, bringing moisture at 7 to 8% level, and keep it in the dehumidified go down. These are the steps to increase value of your nuts and getting good market, and get the profitability for the produce you market. Next one. And this is the small indigenous machines are available which can grade it, and even the dry fines, those are chopped and kept as a cattle feed separately, and very well filled pods, they are collected, clean pods, and that moisture can be dried to 7-8% and then stored and marketed. Next one. So we need to have simple intervention of the present practices to manage aflatoxin. And for that, UNDP has published a detailed booklet, how to manage it. And that was demonstrated in Africa, particularly in Malawi, where I worked as an UN consultant. And not only groundnut, but also maize, the staple food, and the paprika and other spices, where aflatoxin contamination level is very high. And this technology, mostly no-cost technology, just management of the cultural practices, can get rid of the maximum load of the aflatoxin, and then you can make your food safe to eat. Next one. I mean, you can bring down to 5 ppb level from the initial 50 to 100 ppb. So the, certain agronomic measures have that much of strength. And that pilot projects we ran in 2 districts, particularly in India, that is Andhra Pradesh, the largest groundnut producing districts, and Kutch, which in Gujarat. These 2 states contribute 50% of the total 7.5 million hectare groundnut. So our project to manage aflatoxin was there in the 2 states in India, and we could demonstrate the kind of strength of the technology. It is the business line. They projected the activities that how it can be really done. Next one, to produce high quality groundnut with agronomic management and practices. Next one. And Pepsi was very interested to buy aflatoxin free groundnut for the peanut butter production. And during that time, they are leading manufacturer, particularly from the Madras, and exporting it to Amsterdam and other places. So we had a very good linkage between industry and the producer for supplying aflatoxin free high quality nuts for table purpose and peanut butter purpose. Next one. Next one. So now strategy we formulated to promote export, particularly, as I said, to the European countries, where it is called as a very premium market. Once your nuts are free from aflatoxin or safe from aflatoxin point of view. Next one, just I think time is up. And it is only the agronomic management practices what we followed, and we managed to generate passport information about the growing conditions, sanitary, phytosanitary issues at a local level we used to address, and understanding the global requirements, the country where you are going to export it, and getting a high amount of payment, that is premium price for the growers by exporting to most premium market in the world. Next one. So traditionally what we see that if you blend the scientific knowledge available at pre and post harvest level production, so you can improve the quality of your produce. And we have to have discouraged the traders, local traders. It is pick and pack policy. So if that is done, probably no country will earn bad name before the importing countries about the quality of the produce. Next one. And this is the field view of Africa, where you used to work by educating farmers, capacity building of the farmers to improve quality nuts, particularly devoid of aflatoxin, so that from Africa our motto was to send European countries and other importing countries. This is also another nut called Bambara groundnut, but it is basically pulse. The same way, it's also an important food legume in Africa, and we are trying to address, particularly in terms of production improvement and quality improvement. Next one. And there is enormous scope by, next one. Enormous scope to do that. What we need to do is we have to have a supervisory agency guiding export on country basis. So if we form the supervisory agency, they will guide it, and we should be recognized by the importing country. If we are sending to European Union or European countries, they should recognize the supervisory agency. Next one. I am almost through. Next one. And that supervisory audit team should also be there, who will be taking cognizance about your inputs, what you are applying, the package of practices you are following, and how you are making safe to eat. Devoid of pesticide residues and all those aspects. Then groundnut experts of National Agricultural Research Service, particularly the state agricultural universities, ICAR institutes, commodity institutes in different states, they can join hand and should be included for monitoring of the standards and maintaining passport data, so that you can open it before your buyers and they can buy it without any doubt about it. Then after that, we can have interdepartmental panels with territorial jurisdiction who will be inspecting the processing sites also and the factories. Another source of contamination of aflatoxin and affecting the qualities. The recommendation also should come from the Export Inspection Council, that already it is there in most of the countries, Export Inspection Council, and their final clearance for export to European Union or other premium markets in the country like Australia, US, that can go easily for
time.
Manufacturer. Yes, I am
Thank
through.
you.
Sorry for taking some time and